The third major of the golf season, the Open Championship, is being held at Carnoustie Golf Links in Scotland, and all of the world's best are on hand. Carnoustie is in Scotland and will be the third Open Championship in 4 years to be held in Scotland, but Carnoustie has not been the site for the Open Championship since 2007. This is a very challenging track, the longest course in the Open Championship rotation, and some PGA players say that it's the most difficult in all of golf, with weather playing a huge factor. Coverage of the 2018 Open Championship starts just a couple of hours after midnight for those in North America, so plan accordingly to catch the action on the Golf Channel and NBC. In 1999, the cut was 12 over at Carnoustie, and although we've had relatively manageable weather conditions for the last several Open Championships, the winning scores have ranged from 12 under to 20 under over the last 4 years. No lead will be safe this week, as Carnoustie boasts one of the hardest sets of finishing holes in the world as well. All 4 holes played well over par back in 2007, and wind is almost always a factor coming home. The course measures 7,402 yards, but wind will shorten some holes and lengthen others. A lot has changed with the players and technology since the last Open Championship here in 2007, so the course form data doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to analyze. This will be one of the strongest fields of the season for obvious reasons, as major champions, top players in the official World Golf Ranking, and the top FedEx Cup and Order of Merit leaders from around the globe are all on hand. Like most links courses, Carnoustie boasts thick rough, deep bunkers, lots of undulations, and very few trees, so the wind won't be obstructed by very much. There really doesn't seem to be a significant advantage for European Tour players, as we've alternated between an American-born champion and a European PGA Tour regular over the last 6 years in this event. Dustin Johnson is the favorite this week at plus 1150. You'll note that nobody is under 10-1 odds, and the prices are pretty spread out across the field. We actually have 21 players at 40-1 or lower, so the odds makers are giving us the indication that this week's victory could belong to any one of the top players. It depends on wind conditions and a little bit of luck this week. We know that Dustin Johnson can shorten the course with the wind and cut down on his second shots through the wind. With the length at Carnoustie, he makes sense as the favorite. It also doesn't hurt that he's racked up 3 straight top 10 finishes, 8 overall out of 12 events, and has been in the top 10 in the Masters and the US Open. Dustin Johnson doesn't have an Open Championship title yet as well, with a runner-up in 2011 to Darren Clarke. Justin Rose is at odds of plus 1475 this week and the second favorite on the board. Rose has 7 top 10 finishes already this season, including wins at the WGC HSBC Champions and the Fort Worth Invitational. He was 3rd at Bay Hill in the Arnold Palmer. Rose was 9th last week at the Aberdeen Standard Investments Scottish Open, so he's kept right on playing good golf. He was 7 shots off the winning pace set by Brandon Stone. Also playing well last week was Rickie Fowler, who finished tied for 6th at 14 under. Fowler, who has never won a major, is the 3rd favorite at plus 1525. Fowler has 4 top 10s of his own this season, including a runner-up at the Masters. There will be a lot of people in Rickie's corner this week because he tends to be a pretty good player in the wind and showed that last week at Gullane. The conditions were better there than they will be this week, and Fowler is a good bet to grab this one. Rory McIlroy is at odds of plus 1550. There is a big gap after him to Jon Rahm at plus 1900. McIlroy won at Royal Liverpool back in 2014, with Rickie Fowler and Sergio Garcia right on his heels. Rory has been relatively quiet this season. He won the Arnold Palmer and has additional top 10 finishes at the Masters and the Memorial, but he's been very selective with the tournaments that he's entered, so it has been easy to overlook him. He should be extremely comfortable with the weather conditions and also has enough length to shorten some of the holes, even through the wind. The putter has let Rory down this season as he ranks 114th in strokes gained putting. He's top 15 off the tee and tee to green. Not that putting is ever easy on a major course, but Carnoustie has so many landmines and hazards leading up to the green that the greens are somewhat manageable. That could give Rory a good look at winning here. This is a really hard handicap, but there is one thing that we know for sure. The best players play well at the Open Championship. The list of winners here since 2005 include Jordan Spieth, Henrik Stenson, Zach Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Darren Clarke, Louis Oosthuizen, Stuart Sink, Padraig Harrington twice, and Tiger Woods. Basically, you want to stick with the household names this week. Sergio Garcia is at 20-1, Spieth is just over 20-1, but he is in pretty poor form. Justin Thomas is at 22-1 with Henrik Stenson at 28-1, along with Jason Day and Francesco Molinari. Tiger Woods is at 30-1 odds. If you want to look a little bit down the board, you don't want to go too far. Paul Casey at 33-1 odds makes a lot of sense given the performances he's turned in over the last 2 PGA Tour seasons. Tyrrell Hatton is a household name on the European Tour at 30-1. You'll want to spread your money around on some big names. We haven't had too many shockers at the Open Championships before, and probably won't get one this season either, as this is one of golf's hardest courses. For more information and statistics on this event and every other sporting event this week, check out bangthebook.com. Bang the Book is your best resource for sports betting information before you make your weekly assault on the sportsbooks.